Hello and good day. The most important thing that we should think about is how did the press or the media was able to influence people, and it's not important. It's really, that is good that the media is doing it, but what really made me not happy is that it was used for their own agendas, their own things, their own thing. In 1977, it was the first time I had my own apartment in Toledo, Ohio, that is. And the TV was not 24 hours that time. And I was watching, being alone. I tried to stay on TV all the time, the first time ever being alone. So I just turn on the TV and watch. But it does end. It's not 24 hours, about midnight, sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning, but it does end. You don't have continuous. And I noticed that when I was there, that at the end of the transmission, there would be a statement that said that George Washington said that if freedom of press is taken away, then the people will be dumb and they will be led like sheep to the slaughter. Now, this statement is really shook me, and I said, wow, there's a lot of truth in that. You could lie to people. The government, that is, can lie to people and just take them and tell them whatever they wanted to say about these things. And this is how the freedom of press is started, and it is for the people, anybody actually, the freedom of speech actually, that he can say whatever he wants, provided there are little laws about not hurting others or so on, but without the interference of the government. Now, it's been the other way around now. Now, actually, most medias are used by the government, and I do say most, they're stopping them from these things. They call them whistleblowers, but they stop them from telling the truth, too many things, or avoiding the truth, or telling part of the truth, which lead people to different thinking about this. Now, this is the base of democracy, according to a lot of people that admit that the freedom of speech is the number one thing that they should, a country is considered democratic if they have the freedom of speech. Now, what is a democracy? It's not really the freedom of speech. It's freedom, also freedom to speak, freedom to say yes, but not the freedom of speech the way it is meant. Democracy came from the Greek word demo, which means people, krates, or krate, as they say sometimes, means rule. So it's like the rule of the people. Okay. Now, people would look at the Gulf countries, or I'm not gonna bring any of the other non-democratic countries, which we know they are non-democratic, although some of them even have the word democratic in their name. Before East Germany used to be called the Democratic Republic of Germany, and South Yemen when it was Marxist, they called the Democratic Republic of Yemen, and North Korea, Democratic Republic of North Korea, and so on, and China and other things. So actually, a first hint is, if you see the word democratic in the name of the country, that means it's not democratic. It's a rule of thumb, So now people will say about the Gulf countries that they are not democratic because they don't allow, these, it's a ruler there, one guy ruler, another thing. But it is different, Okay, how is a ruler? The best rulers is he must provide safety, he must make his country safe, he must make his people happy, and he must treat them all equally, which means no one is above the law. And that is the basis of the Gulf countries ruling, the emirates, the kings, the leaders there. It is true, it's inherited, it's in one family, true. But what do they give to the people? This is what counts. It's not who rules, but how he rules. And the subjects, of course, will take longer to explain later on, which I will gonna get into it, because it has to do with the traditions, the customs of these governments in the Gulf. They used to be tribes. They're still tribes, actually, in a lot of their dealings, which means respect of the elder, respect of the ruler, provided that the ruler does not treat them differently or bad or whatever. And of course, we know that there are kingdoms even in the Western world, and other places that they name kingdom, but there is a ruling family, like in Britain, like in Belgium, like in even Thailand, is a royal family. And the amazing thing is that in 2003, when they made a survey, after the invasion of Iraq, and they asked people, what type of governance would you like, that we should, about 3% said Britain, 5% said France, 7% said the United States. The amazing thing is that 40% said they want form of government like Dubai. Dubai is a ruling family. It's a monarchy. So what they were actually saying is not the type of, it's how do you want to be ruled, and that will take another episode from me to explain more in detail why these traditions and rules of these tribemen, of these governments in the Arabian Gulf, and I'm talking only about the Arabian Gulf in this say, why it works and why it is not really, and I mean really, not a dictatorship. Peace.